Okay, hello everybody, this is Joseph Propati, and in this video, which will be the last of this Star Trek solo variation, Star Trek CCG solo variation videos, I'm going to cover ship-to-ship battles. So I've covered setup, the rules, phases and the rules for each turn, and some playthroughs. So I want to do this last video. It's going to cover a ship-to-ship battle with the Federation ship and a Romulan ship. I did a small one during the playthrough with the Scout, but I want to do a full-blown ship, main Galaxy style ship, or Galaxy-class ship. So that's what this video is going to cover. It's just going to be a ship-to-ship battle. Federation is going to move into this mission, and it's going to cause an attack. So I'm going to cover the setup to get ready for the battle, and then I'm going to go through all the rules of this battle as we're playing through this battle, and that's what this video is going to cover. So I don't think it'll be too long, but I want to cover all the details of each attack per the rounds, your crew being used to restore shields and hull damage, how the shield and hull damage cards affect your crew and your ship. So it's involved. So what I did was I didn't care for the rules that were for the original Star Trek CCG game. And I wanted to expand on it. And I wanted it to be more like how you were watching the show, how, you know, when they get attacked, shields get attacked and shields deplete. And then once you get there, they start getting hull damage. That to me was more realistic instead of just, you take two, your ship's gone. Something like that. It was very minimal. I wanted this to be more detailed, more involved, so as you're playing the game, you feel like you're actually in a true battle with a Romulan ship. So that's what this is going to do. It's going to explain the rules to you, cover a playthrough of this battle, and then, you know, show you that. I think it adds more fun, more detail, more entertainment to the actual gameplay. So let's go ahead. We'll walk through the setup. Okay, so let's talk about what you need for a ship-to-ship battle. So in this example, we're going to move, right? So during my move, let's say I moved into this mission sector, and this Romulan ship was patrolling this sector on this mission card. Whenever you move into something like that situation, the Romulans are going to attack immediately, and they will get the first attack. So here we are, we have a ship-to-ship battle, and what we're going to need is obviously a D6, and we need a token that will track who is attacking, right? So that's your attack token, right? So Romulans will be attacking first. Then we need our tokens to track shields, which we need 9. So we have our shield strength of 9. We're going to use 9 white ones. And then for the Romulans, we have 7 shield. So we're going to put 7 white tokens for the shield to represent the shields for the Romulan ship. Then we need hull damage. Hull damage is the exact same thing as shields. So the hull strength will be 7. We'll use green tokens, 7 green tokens for the Romulans, and the hull strength for Federation will be 9, just like the shields, and we'll set those off to the side. Right, so once you deplete your shields, you'll start going into hull damage. Same with the Romulans. The other thing you want to use is tokens, extra tokens. So I have these extra tokens out here. I'm going to use these just to keep track of when an ability is used from the crew of your starship. And also, we're going to be drawing some crew for the Romulan ship, right? Because they have a crew just like you do. There are modifiers based on what class of Romulan ship. So if it was a Scout class, it would be half your crew. So we have a full complement, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have half of that, which is 3.5, rounded down 3. So this would have a crew of 3. When it's a full starship, and the way you know that is, this Romulan ship has no rank requirements here. You don't see anything like it needs a commander or staff. So that's just going to be half of this crew. Now this starship actually has rank requirements. It has a commander and 2 staff. So this one's going to be, when it's a starship, it's basically a D6, or sorry, a D3, right? So that would be 2, and that is minus this crew. So this is 7, I'd have a crew, this starship would have a crew of 5. If I rolled a 5 or 6, then this would be 3 minus 7. And this is also rounded, I think this is rounded up. So we have 7, half of this, 3.5, up 1 is 4. Okay? So those are your crew requirements. And then we would draw our crew. So what we're going to do is we have a starship, and we want to complement this with a crew. So we have a crew of 7. We roll 1. Let's do, well, that's it. So 1. So this modifier means I'm going to remove 1 from the 7. So 6. They got a crew of 6. That's a big crew requirement. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6. Right? Almost full complement. And we will put these right here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? We can see all those. Now again, just like on a Federation ship, I need 1 commander and 2 staff. So there's a staff, there's a commander, there's a staff. So I do have my full complement. This meaning this ship would be able to move. If I didn't have this, the ship wouldn't be able to move. So if you don't have that requirement, then you're going to have to remove 1 and draw another one until you get that complement. But we're good here. Then we want to see what we got. We got a medical, we got an officer, engineer, science, VIP science. So this crew has all the abilities that are needed to do repairs and help out crew. So good complement here. And we have an engineer, science, medical, and officer. So we do also have full complement. We're good. So we're going to be able to use a lot of our abilities. When you use an ability, you could either, if you don't have the token, just flip the card 180 or flip it over. But if you have the token, just put it on it because it's usually that's used for the round. Right? So we have all the cards we need. We've got our setup with our crew. Let's go ahead and start the battle. Okay, so now let's begin this battle. We start. Each battle is rounds, so there's an attacking round. So you're going to attack, right? Do whatever damage you need, and then the next ship will attack and do whatever damage. Okay. Oh, the other thing I also want to explain is we have our shield damage cards, which we need. And we have our hull damage cards. And these are going to be used whenever you take shield damage or you take hull damage, right? So that's the other complement we need for our components. Okay, so we're going to start this battle. We've got everything set up. We've got our crews. We've got our tokens. Romulans start first. Now, the way a battle works is you have weapon strength, shield strength, right? And then you have a modifier, attack modifier. With the attacking ship, we look at the weapons. We go, weapons of 9. We're going to have that 9, and then we're going to roll a modifier. Plus 6. So it's going to be 9 plus this 6 gives us 15, and that 15 goes against our shields. We have a shield of strength of 9. So the nice thing about these two cards is weapons and shields are the same. So basically whatever I roll is going to be the damage that goes to this. Same with this Federation attack. I have a weapons of 7. This Romulan has a shields of 7. So basically whatever I roll is going to be the actual damage. So this was a big one. I do 6 damage to these shields, my Federation shields, right? And because I do damage to the shields, I'm going to be drawing a shield card. So we read the shield card. A temporary shield disruption causes weapons to surge. On your next attack, ignore the D6 die roll and then hold card until then. So on the Federation's next attack, they're not going to be able to use this D6. So tough effect. Now, we don't have any damage or anything, so they're done with their attack. Right? So we go in here, and it's the Federation's turn to attack. Now, before the attack begins, you have to decide, am I going to use my crew to do anything? In this case, restore shield damage. Now, shield damage is done by using either an engineer or an engineer and a science officer. So we have, let's see here, we got, we can do an engineer can restore 1 shield, right? So we have, it's going to be like this. We're going to have engineers or officers sorry, one officer only can restore a single point of shield damage. You can't take all your officers and go, okay, I got 4 officers, so I'm going to heal, restore 4 shields. You can't do that. You can use one of your officers as its ability to restore 1 shield damage. Now, you can use an officer and an engineer, so this engineer and this officer, right, to restore 2 shield damage, right? But they use their abilities in the beginning of the round, and that way they can't be used for anything else during the attack. So I want to restore 2, so I'm going to put on this officer and this engineer that I'm restoring 2 shield. Okay? Now, for my attack, so I don't have anything else I can do unless I want to do the roll. I can set up for a roll. And right now, that would be an engineer and a medical. I've used my engineer, so I can't modify the roll. In this case, I don't even get to use, I have to ignore this roll. So we're going to just do the attack, ignore that. I have a weapons of 7, shields of 7, no damage. Okay? But this is gone this round. Alright, so now we have the Romulan's attack. So the Romulan's got a weapons 9, they're going to roll 3, they do 12, so this is 3 damage to shields. Right, put that there. Draw another shield card. Shields rebound weapon energy. On this ship's next attack, apply a -2 penalty to the die roll. So that is going to affect the Romulans on their next attack. Now I still haven't taken any damage, so I'm not going to do anything. Okay, now again, before the attack happens, we take these off because it's just per round. I want to restore 2 more. We'll do it again. Engineer, officer. But now I get to roll. So, not good. So 7, 8, -7, 1. I do 1 shield damage. But since it takes 1, you got to draw a shield card. Attacker loses 1 shield point from feedback burn. So that means I lose shield. And because I lost a shield, I still got to do shield damage. Lose 2 additional shield points immediately this round. Oh, this is really affecting the Federation. So 2 more. Okay. Now we'll do Romulans. Now the Romulans can use their officer and restore 1. And then we're going to do a roll. 4 damage. So now I'm going past the shields. So I do 1, and the 3 extra you take, it's going to go into the shield, the hull damage, right? Because now we're into hull damage. So we put our hull on there. We have 3 damage that's excess. It's a shield hit overflow, which means we're not going to be doing a shield damage. We're going to be doing a hull damage card. And it's 3, we do half of that rounded down, so it's basically 1 hull damage. Right? But we have to take a hull damage card. The warp core's damage. Ship is destroyed unless an engineer or science officer on board to repair breach in 2 rounds. So luckily, I have a science officer. So we'll have to keep track of that. Right? So now, Federation's turn. So now, we can take, and we're going to do some repairs. Whenever you repair, you have to repair shields. Right? You can repair either one you want. I could repair this hull and shields. But remember, if you repair shields first, damage has to go to shields and then overflows into the hull. If I just did the hull, the next attack is going to go straight to hull. Not good. So I'm going to use 2 officers, or an officer and engineer, to restore 2 shields, which helps prevent straight damage to my hull. Right? And then I'm going to roll. And this says warp core, so now I'm on, so this has to be 2 rounds, so I'm on the 2nd round. Right? Because each of these are round, say. Okay? So this will be gone on the next one, at least I won't be destroyed. And roll to 4, so we're going to do 4 damage, we take 4 from the shields. And these take And then, all right, so shields. Immediately drop shields to 3. If shield is 3 or less, reduce it to 0. So 3 or less, this is going to 0. Oh, that was had a big effect. All right, that was a good one for Federation. And this is over, right? We can, we'll get rid of that on next turn, or next round. Okay, so this attack, got to get some shields up. So we're going to use, this guy's gone. We'll do an officer and an engineer. All right, so we use black. And we'll restore 2 shield. Okay. And we will roll for low, good, 2. So we do our 2 shields, right? And we take a shield card. Oh, but wait. Shield rebound, apply -2 penalty to die roll. So that doesn't even apply. So, weapons 9, shields 9 does not do any shield damage. All right, so this is now gone. Let's turn to there, and that attack is over. So now we'll do Federation attack. Federation will use their same crew, heal 2 more, and then do an attack. 2 takes 2 shields. We'll do Romulans. Okay, now this is a localized collapse. Roll d6. So we roll d6, 6. On a 6, aft shields fail. -2 additional damage. So because there are no shields, this is now going into the hull. And that's 2 damage to the hull. Because there's damage to the hull, you do a hull damage card. Weapon system malfunction. On your next attack, ignore the d6 roll. Hold this card until then. So on the next attack for this guy, we'll not get the d6. Alright, and there's no other cards, so it's now the Romulan's attack. Now the Romulans are they're down on their hull damage, but they're gonna still use their engineers, engineer officer, to heal 2 shields. Right? And they're gonna attack. They ignore this d6. They have weapons 9, shields 9, so there is no damage to the Federation ship. Okay. And we can discard this. Alright, so now I'm going to do, again, engineer, officer, and hit 2 more shields. And then we'll attack. 4, so we do 4 here, and then 2 more to the hull, which means the shield hit overflow, and I go into hull damage. Weapons -3 until repaired. Takes an engineer 2 rounds. So let's put 2 things on here to go for the rounds. Takes an engineer 2 rounds to repair the array. All right, and weapons are at -3, so it's not looking good for this Romulan ship. All right, and now what? So an engineer takes an engineer 2 rounds. So this engineer will have to go with this. And that means I can't use this engineer to repair shields, but I can use an officer to repair 1 shield. And science, I can use a science to heal or to restore. But do I have any other engineers? No, I can use a science to hull. All right, so now we've got these guys. And we will attack. I'm at -3, so basically that's a 1. So weapons at 9, a 10, so it only does 1 damage. Now, if I had an engineer available and a medical, I could re-roll this dice and take the re-roll, but don't have it. So we're going to do shields. Temporary shield disruption causes weapons to surge. On your next attack, ignore d6, die roll, hold card until then. So that'll be for me. All right. So this is now going to be on the round. So the second round. Now these rounds, remember these rounds are based on this card's rounds, not rounds. So this is rounds for these cards, these are rounds for this card. So it's on the second round. So basically on the next turn, this will be gone. So I will do 2 more, right? And then temper shield, weapon surge, attack. I ignore this, so I don't get that. And it's 7 to 7, no damage, so nothing there. And we have engineer, officer. Let's do 2 more shields. And then this is now gone. Sorry, we're going to use the engineer for that. That's 1 less shield, but we can heal or restore with the science. 1 more hull. Okay, so we're going to attack. 4 damage. Okay, do shields. If the damage to the shields is more than half the original shield, a crew is stunned. Engineer, officer, unable to repair. So, crew stun, nope, it was only 2, so that's okay. Alright, we go here. No cards to deal with. Let's take these all off. Let's do, again, officer, engineer. We'll attack. 3 damage, so we go into here, plus 1 on the hull. Then it's a hull damage. 1 random crew member is killed on a d6 of 6. So let's see if a crew member is killed. Nope. Alright. Alright. Got lucky there. We'll do officer and engineer. Look at that. 3. Shift card. Energy drain. Powerful energy drain allows only 2 points of damage to affect the shield in excess damage. Ignored. So basically it was 2 damage. The rest was ignored. Alright. Federation. 5. So we got 5. That's 2 for that. And then 2 left. So we got to go to hull damage. 1 crew member is injured. Place one random crew member in sick bay. Rotate the crew card 90 degrees. Takes medical officer 2 rounds. 2 return personnel to duty. Okay. So we've got 6. Let's just roll. 1, 2, 3. Science officer is now in sick bay. Okay. We now have science, so we're going to do 2 of these. Do an attack. 3. That's 3. Shields. Glancing blow. Glancing blow produces no damage to shields, so we'll put our 3 back. Alright. And we'll do engineer and officer again. And we'll attack. 5. Oh boy. So 2 shields. There's 3 left. It's going to be rounded up 2. And that is it. That's Romulan Starship is destroyed. So when the ship is destroyed, right, these are victory points. And these are based to the 9, 9, and 7. These added together are victory points. So Federation was successful in that attack, that ship-to-ship battle. And what you have to remember is you have to leave these on here, because if you want them to full strength, you're going to have to restore them, which means your crew per turn will have to be used to restore these values. Okay, and then once you get those, you can get those back and take them off normal. So you can either do a couple things. You can have a die. If you have them, you can use a blue die and a white die, like a D6, D10, and then just have this on your Federation ship. and you can keep track of that repair as you're going from turn to turn. Or leave the counters on, but it just makes it hard to move your card around. So I would get a blue D10 or some extra dice to track whatever repairs you need to make. And then all these guys, you have two options. If you want to play true to the world, if this ship is blown up, you can destroy these cards, remove them from the game. Otherwise, you can just put them back on the cards and shuffle them up. So we'll shuffle these back up, and that way they're played again. Which, if you have a lot of Romulan, individual Romulan personnel cards, great. I would do that. Otherwise, I would just put them back in and shuffle them back up, and then they can be used for the next Romulan attack. But once you finish that attack, go ahead and put everything back. You can get rid of this, and then go through your normal turn. Set these back off to the side, your hull and shield damage cards, and you are ready to go. And that is a ship-to-ship battle with a Romulan and a Federation Starship. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. This will be the last video that I'm covering for this solo variation. And if you like the video, go ahead and subscribe and give it a like. But hope you enjoy trying this variation out. Thanks for watching.